thank a lot of people, Bo, Eric, and then several others, I believe, who couldn't be here. Thank you for bringing me in. Thank you for all the work you did putting this event together. Also, thank you to all of you who have come out to join us. I'm sure there are many other things that you could be doing on a Friday afternoon. There's just a little bit. As with any good debate or discussion, it is necessary that we properly frame the issue under consideration. Indeed, I believe one of the primary problems with recent discussions and debates about the use of the term nigger is that it has been framed by an either-or counterproductive logic that poses particular types of questions that demand definitive, absolute, and final answers. Can we or can we not utter the term nigger? Who can say nigger and who cannot? Is nigger good or bad, right or wrong? Is it a hate word or a love word? Does it hurt or heal? But the issue is also obfuscated by articulating a laundry list of boundless hypotheticals. Well, what if I'm a white Jewish guy but grew up in a black neighborhood and have my honorary nigger card? Could I say, "What up, my nigga," to my homies, the black ones and the white ones? The controversial term, or controversial nature of the term, and the uncontrollable nature of language reduces discussions of the term to endless speculation about context, motivations, intentions. So many would you, could yous that even Dr. Seuss would be proud. Somebody mixed up my notes. I think it was.
I was playing the white guy.
Could you, would you, in a song? Could you, would you, all night long? Could you, would you, around your mother? Would you, should you, if it was a brother? I want to say it if I can. I want to say nigga, that's who I am. Maybe comedic, but it's often unproductive because it muddies the waters by implying that people everywhere are running around trying to find every excuse they can to say the word over and over, waking up in the morning having dreamt all night about finding the next time they can use it. But this is not the reality. The truth is, when we talk about the use of the so-called N-word, we're talking about it in a limited sphere of possibility, but potentially contentious usage. We're not talking about the world of bigots and racists who use the word with explicit intent to do harm. The video prelude to our remarks today was useful in at least one respect. It reframes a question constructively by asking, why would you use the N-word today? I would like to turn that around and ask, are there bad reasons for not doing so? Not do we have anything to gain, but perhaps do we have anything to lose by not being able to utter the word? My answer is yes. A wise person once said, if we do not remember history, we are doomed to repeat it. Why not use the so-called N-word? Because of the history of the word. Undoubtedly, your first response. The historical reality that the term was used to denigrate and subjugate blacks in American history. That the word, often coupled with racial violence, is itself a form of violent speech. Those who don't want anyone to speak the word tell us that when we use that word, black, white, or otherwise, we transport this violence into the present. For these people, there is only one solution. Only one way to ameliorate the hate and violence often evoked by the word. They don't want rappers rapping about it, comedians joking about it, teachers teaching about it, or talk show hosts talking about it. If you're the NAACP, you symbolically bury nigger. If you're the New York City Council, you legislate it. If you're the FCC, you regulate and censor it. For all of them, nigger is a bygone word from a bygone era, a history we think of as diametrically opposed to our present. At least we try damn hard to make it seem that way. But if indeed we are doomed to repeat history, if we do not remember it, then what is the consequence of nigger's erasure from the possibilities of speech? from the pages of our textbooks, from the lips of satirists and poets, whether they come in the form of rap artists, political cartoonists, or social commentators. What happens when we remove nigger completely from our history? We can't have it both ways. We can't remember and hope to avoid the horrors of history, while at the same time trying to erase it. Unfortunately, nigger is a part of our history. The possibility of its use must be preserved in our present if we want others to remember and learn from it. What do we have to lose if we don't? We lose the recognition of and reflection on a history that is so necessary for helping us figure out where we want to be and go in the future. We lose the reality of the kinds of violence and injustice once caused by nigger, those who used it to inflict that violence and those who suffered from it. But there is something perhaps more important that we lose if we banish nigger to the oblivion of illegality, policy offense, or self-censorship. I'll never forget the first time I remember being called a nigger. I was 8 years old at a summer camp, surrounded for the first time in my life by mostly white people. I don't remember the reason for what happened. In fact, all I remember is a white kid calling me nigger, my hand hitting the side of his face, and I remember him hitting the ground. I also remember my mom threatened to hit me with a belt several hundred times for getting kicked out of summer camp for the day, until she heard the reason why. It wasn't a great moment. I got hurt, that kid got hurt. In the years following, I've learned why I had this reaction to that word. I'd like to think that kid learned the same thing. Irrespective of whether he did or didn't, however, the fact remains that that moment was what many people call a teachable moment. A moment enhanced by the fact of confrontation. If I've learned anything in my years as an educator, it's that most students, hell, most adults, rarely get the opportunity to talk openly and frankly about race. Many others need to, but nevertheless refuse. Randall Kennedy, the Harvard law professor and author of the once controversial book, Nigger, The Strange Career of a Troublesome Word, refers to the term as the nuclear word among all racial epithets. Its potentially destructive force outmatching all others. But it's this very same power that makes the term unique in its ability to provoke debate, discussion, and dissemination to people who, I believe, are often looking for a way to talk about race in a country that consistently tries to ignore it. Laughter may be the best medicine. It makes you feel good again. But confrontation is often that which, as comedian Chris Rock says, shakes the shit out of you and forces you to confront things that you often try to ignore. What do we have to lose if we lose the word nigger? We lose perhaps one of our best tools to provoke, encourage, and in some cases even demand that we, whether we want to or not, or whether we're comfortable with it or not, talk openly, honestly, and often about race. So what should we do with nigger? Bury it like a rotted corpse that gives us the illusion that it cannot affect us from beyond the grave? Abolish it like prohibition, forcing it into an underground market where the worst intention among us, or the legislative and regulatory censors get to choose and decide its meaning and currency? Or should we just forget about it altogether, like all those things we just as soon ignore and pretend didn't exist, so we can live our lives in the comfort of ignorant bliss? Or do we continually leave open both the pain and the possibilities the word holds? I think this is the better course.